And good morning to all of our viewers joining in from different parts of India and the world. On behalf of CIVOM, I welcome you all to this live session devoted to Guru Purnima celebrations. And the most amazing part of this session will bring a wonderful discussion by two of the most notable alumni of Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas. Before introducing them, let me have this honor of introducing you to the sacred occasion of Guru Purnima. Guru means mentor, guide, or teacher. And the word Purnima refers to the day or night of the full moon. So, this time of full moon that falls in the Ashar month, that is between June to July, is celebrated as Guru Purnima in India, Nepal, Bhutan, and several nations of the world. In fact, Purnima is a Sanskrit technical term that is also used in ancient Indian sciences such as astronomy, mathematics, and geometry. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me give you a quick intro of Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya and the two iconic panelists we have among us. Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas were established in 1985 by the Government of India to provide quality education to talented children from rural areas. The schools were the brainchild of former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, who wanted to set up a network of schools in every district to ensure holistic development of students. The first two JNVs were established way back in 1985 to 86 at Jhajjar, Haryana and Amravati, Maharashtra. As of July 2024, 661 JNVs have been sanctioned across India, with 649 of them functional. JNVs are residential schools that are affiliated with the Central Board of Secondary Education. They provide free education, boarding, lodging, school uniforms, textbooks, stationery, and transportation to and from school. And today, we have among us two alums of JNV, Mr. Anil Kumar Patil and Mr. Yogendra Patidar. Mr. Anil Kumar Patil is the founder of Ripples, a chain of rural schools that provides holistic education and practices in their vicinity. These schools transform rural students into confident, responsible, hardworking, happy, and empathetic citizens for their life. He credits this progress to the strong foundation received by him at his alma mater, JNV. Welcome to this session, Anil sir. We are extremely delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you, Akshay. Yeah, pleasure is mine.
Thanks. Now we have among us Mr. Yogendra Patidar. Yogi Patidar is a young, award-winning entrepreneur, Business World 40 Under 40 Education Award, who is passionate about changing education in India and beyond. He is a graduate of both Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya and EDIA Ahmedabad. He co-founded CIVOM, a company that designs learning spaces to help students become future leaders. Welcome to this session, Yogendra sir. We are elated to have you joining us live.
Thank you, everyone.
And finally, it's the moment to kickstart this session. So, panelists, all set? How's the Josh?
All great, man.
Okay, so get ready for a salvo of
Yes.
questions coming over to you. The panel discussion will focus on JNV's impact throughout your journey. So, the first common question coming up is, what was your most memorable experience of JNV, and what are the key lessons instilled in you by JNV that went on to become your guiding light throughout your life? Anil sir, over to you.
Oh, well, JNV is plethora of things. If you ask me one, it's hard to pick. But just to say, I joined Navodaya at the age of around 9, 10 as a small person. It was difficult to even carry my own plate. From that to becoming a confident person, it's all because of Navodaya. And to sum it up, for example, the key things I would say is hard work. Uh, there is no substitute for hard work, and self confidence. No matter in life, no matter how big the problem or the challenge in front of you, and most of the Navajans, they stand strong in front of them, and they face it and solve it. So that's all. The credit goes to the institution called JNV and the
And
members.
so, what was the most memorable experience of yours at JNV?
Um, Many. One, I would say, in the first year, I was very small, and I used to have a lot of homesickness. every time my parents used to visit, I used to cry a lot and saying, I don't want to stay here. I want to come back to home. And from that to within a span of 1 2 years, I don't want to come to home. I want to stay in school. So that tells a lot of things about school as such, residential context and amazing things. So a lot of things, fighting, friends, leadership, seniors, juniors with gurus, and yeah.
Wonderfully answered. So, Yogi sir, the same question goes to you.
Uh, I first would like to, really bow my head today to for all my teachers who had, contributed to, my success, or, giving me a platform what I could have today. So, I think without those people who has been inspiring me throughout my journey, yet I couldn't be whatever I could achieve, or could rather than contribute to society once again. So, thanks, and great bow to them, and happy Guru Purnima to everyone. Before I start further, I would say one if there's one thing which I can put across is how I am as a person can really understand meaningfulness to me. Earlier, I was very, at Navodaya, we have a lot of advantage because at early age, you become your own decision makers. So, my life was eating and, sports. That's it in early ages. But in 11th class, something happened which actually made me realize power of self-respect. Okay. And how do you really look at human as a life, and what you can contribute to your own breed and other breeds. So there's something which sparked in me, which is I could, if I go back and see that event specifically, had made me think a lot, which has given burst to my internal capacities. So I feel, and it was very interesting event. I was punished for bunking the school for watching a movie in a talkies in close by area. And when I got back, we were given punishment for frog jumps, which was 3 kilometer frog jump, and it didn't hurt us because we are so physically fit every day. It didn't matter. But from there, my principal kind of see that he brought down to one of a young girl, which is from my community, and he said, this guy, when you see outside school, how do you remember him? And that's the point where it struck me. How do your social intelligence activates, which kind of given me a lot of self-respect thinking, and what I'm going to be, what how people is going to look at me in life is very good strike to me. And that event was the one where I never looked back. So yeah, that's how it kicked off to me.
Great answer, Yogi. So you covered your experience as well as what came as a guiding light for you in terms of the things taught to you by JNV. So great answer. Thank you, Yogi sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now let's head over to the first round of this discussion on nurturing potential. Each panelist will have 5 to 7 minutes to answer their question. So the first question goes to Anil sir. So what unique opportunities did JNV provide for your personal growth?
Mm, yeah. So, coming from a rural background, and then a financially economical background, getting into an Navodaya is a bliss. So, for example, in sixth itself, we started using computers. We learned logo, basic languages in 1994-95, that time frame. I did not join Navodaya, if I continued in my rural place, I'm pretty sure I would not seen the computer at least till 12th. From So in a way, from that to infrastructure, the grounds, the playgrounds of various, and the food, the library, for me, it was not possible if I didn't join Navodaya. So in a way, it made, for example, the opportunities and provided by Navodaya. For me, being a rural student, any urban parent putting their ward into one of the better schools, so that made the equalization, that made the equal opportunities for this is not just my story. Most of the Navodayans all across country would agree and align with this. So yeah, so a lot of opportunities, and we, most of them, we were brought up kind of it's a separate world altogether. We were kind of disconnected in a way, but and we might think even after leaving the school in 12th, we at that age we will think we don't know how the world will be, how competitive these entrance exams, IIT, and how do we going to face, we are not prepared enough, these kind of questions most of the Nowadays will have. But you know what, it's like, have you seen that movie Kung Fu Karate Kid, wherein where the English American student was trained by a Chinese master in karate, and he teach a lot of things, skills, how to fight, and but he didn't tell the rules of the game, the rules of the competition, and all those things. But that kid is ready with all the skills, right? So I kind of relate myself and most of the Nowadays what JNV as a guru gave us. So it made us ready to face the world, to face the challenges and problems. And I think that is a great thing. I mean, I don't know if I was able to convey the things, but yeah, that's the thing I would like to say.
That was as pure an answer as we could expect. Great answer, sir. And so the second question goes to Yogi, sir. So please share an example of JNV fostering leadership potential.
Sorry, Akshay, can you come again?
Yeah. Sir, could you please share an example of JNV fostering leadership potential?
Mhm. So I tell you, one thing is we have to do everything by our own self, from washing our clothes to washing our utensils to cleaning our classrooms, hostels, making our grounds, putting the line marks, putting the net, getting the poles, making tracks, everything, almost watering the plants. So we used to get one plant each year almost, which becomes trees now, and jungles are there now. But that's everything has been by us. So I say the life skills, the way that has been given to us, and they're so well organized in all curriculars. So if you go July, it will be literary activities. August would be cultural activities. September would be SUPW's exhibitions. Every month was been organized like this. Every day was your games been organized. You got kabaddi, kho, volleyball, handball, football, crickets, hockeys. You know, uh, Everything was so aligned. It's like you're a part of a military training. Okay. And your education is there, your food is there. We have to cook our food also a lot of times when there is less help. We have to get woods out of the trolleys. Okay, so think about two trolleys got finished in just a mere 1 hour, because you make a chain of 300 kids one after the other. There's a chain, and the trolley gets emptied. So from that to anything was like a community. We kind of survived this. Early ages of course become a little difficult because you have a homesickness, but I believe eighth onwards people are so tough, and they feel that community is more stronger than what you can get at houses. And we are so underprivileged communities. You couldn't get food 4 times your houses maybe, but know that it was ensuring at least that for us. Okay. So in those terms, if you see, the for the people it was been created, it was amazingly done. The teachers, I feel most of the teachers were PhD holders, teaching you in school. Okay. The kind of name, because this is close community, 400 kids, every teacher mostly knows everyone. Okay. And the kind of focus, they know you as a personality. Okay. So it's a overall directive, those which was been given to us, and you lead one or the other programs. There's so much happening around us every day. Okay, and your unit test was monthly. You are if you're less than 15, you are not allowed to do science clubs. So if you have a fascination for science, you have to at least score something. Okay, so it is so interestingly designed that their focus was only on the kids, and I feel immensely. We used to do our own Ramayans. We don't have used to have Diwali holidays. Okay, and we had to stay there. So we used to organize Ramayans, or there are kids who doing. So every festival, every ritual, every routines was been followed in such a way that you nourish one or the other leadership qualities inside you.
Yeah, actually, can I add? I mean, a
Of
lot,
course, please.
whatever Yogi Bhai is saying, it's actually true for every Navodayan. A lot of committees will be there: food committee, cultural
Yes.
committee. So everything is a leadership opportunity there. Actually,
So many points are like too impressed by the way your JNV experience shaped up like in a holistic way. And Yogi sir, how was the impact on academics?
I think amazing. See, I only feel some way because those are the times where we may not have very strong career guidances. Again, but we were skilled enough to fight back when we, come to cities like Indore or those bigger cities. So our challenges were much higher in terms of, if you understand, we need to be up with the city communications. We were from a rural thinking. So be it from fashion to be it, communications, be the world sees things. Okay, what is trending, what is not trending, all of this. So you have to face these challenges. You're coming from small towns, staying in big cities. So understanding city and commutation. Okay, arranging that for. Okay, and I believe most of Northerns were not having this affordability to go. And I don't know. I feel this strongly with people I have seen. We never go to coaching. Our classroom sessions are more than enough for us that we never need extra coachings to get anything, because we never had them. We never had coaching as an idea to get something. So whatever you give us in this 45-50 minutes is more than enough. So we'll prepare before the session, we'll prepare after the sessions. Okay, so you're so thorough with your concept lines. So I talk a lot of times to my team, talking about calorimeter as a principle or something which I use in my dehydration business. Certain things which we take it from social psychological understanding, which we had studied in school concepts. So they're so thorough. May not be connected in terms of a very strong occupational idea, but it was a more Gurukul idea. So I always say, today's education is designed around occupation, but not self-elevation. Versus know that at certain levels were the models which was designed around self-elevation. So the only thing was how do you fight the battle in the outer world? Okay, people who could figure this out has you'll find IAS from Nowadays, you'll find IPSs from Nowadays, you'll find politicians, any field. If you go there, there would be one or the other way getting there. And one thing is for sure from Nowadays is they're hardworking, ethically settled out. Okay, there's a few roots which has been these seeds which has been rooted inside us, at early ages. So that would always be there.
Right, right. Now I can relate to why you told that JNV life was like military life also. Super
Yes,
sharp focus and attention and dedication also.
yes, yes, yes.
So thank you so much for the answers for this round. To everyone watching this session live, I request you all to please share your questions in the comment section and we'll bring them right after the third and the final round. So now comes a very interesting round of questions on values for life. The very first question of this round goes to Yogi sir. Yogi sir, how does JNV promote community service among students?
See, the way I said, Forest is close knit group. We have groups inside groups. So our class was a different group. Our houses were a different group. Okay, our running houses were a different groups. Okay, our school was a different group. So if you have any wrong word outside Node about Node, people would fight for that. Okay, inside houses, if you take a side of my house versus another's house, there would be fights around it. Again, in classrooms it would be like this. So we're so deeply connected with each other, and it made us had the value of people around us. Human values are been very strongly instilled. A lot of time, today outside the world, we talk about polarization on religion or any other sects. Now this is taught nothing different. You know, there was no differentiation between SC, ST, OBCs, female, male. Hindu, Muslims, any religion. We eaten with them. I don't see any difference because as a kids we had grown together. So if someone comes to me with any polarized idea, I say, I couldn't say because I not lived it. Because for us, the community was so clean, and we are eating what they are eating. We are thinking, and we are getting taught as they were taught. So how do you see a difference in anything? And if I don't see a real case, I cannot be an advocate for that.
Fantastic,
So this has
fantastic.
been the case for mostly for us, yeah.
Mhm. Right, right. Rightly answered. And the next question comes to Anil sir. So please share an example of a JNV value that guides your life and work to this day.
Values, yes. Yeah, for example, I mean, JNV Samiti, the tagline itself says, enter to learn, live to serve. And this is so true for most of the Navodayans all across the world. Whatever they do, I mean, as Yogiji said, we are.
We used to have very interesting Hindi line. It says, आप हमें अबोध बालक दो, हम आपको सुबोध नागरिक देंगे.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's true. So most of the times, most of the Navodayans, in whatever profession they are in, they think about the team, they think about us. And generally, once I come across, and now I'm working with rural communities, some of the people, they first think about I for me, and then my family. The society comes, very far, but it's not the same for Navodayans, no matter whatever the profession they are in. So generally, that's the mindset which grows, and it was not taught or preached there. It won't be, you have to work for society, you have to think about society. I think the system is like that. I mean, as Yogiji said, we are not aware of caste, religion, nothing. So those 7 years was so beautiful. I mean, uh, so I would say the value system, yes, the values which most of the Navodayans taught by Navodaya JNV itself is, think about the people, think about us. So that's the thing. And hard work. There is no substitution for hard work. Uh, so yeah, that's the main thing. And most of them are socially responsible. Yeah, Yogi, yeah, please.
No. So a lot of times, today we talk about, punishment as a problem, or in schools probably we were beaten so much. I would say, but parents used to leave it like, sir, isko marna hai, peetna hai, whatever you want to do it with them. But make him what he can be. Okay. So I feel very confident in some way that it may not sound very framed in such way, but one thing is. We have seen those hyper things in life at early ages that we don't feel depressed now. You put us into anything. If I don't have money in my pocket, I would figure out it. If I'm left alone somewhere, I figure it out. Okay, you give us the adversity, you give us a challenge to adaptation, we can
Right.
figure that out. That I can be very assured because we had done it by our hands. We have faced through those. Okay, we had gone through that. So, my point is that adaptive intelligence has been inhaled inside us. So, a lot of time people say, you do multiple businesses with a lot of different focuses. I'm into foods, I'm into surface coatings, I'm into, learning spaces. He says, how do you focus? I said, you give me a challenge, and, if it sparks curiosity inside me, if I can create an impact, I would get there. We'll get into depth of each layer, and be it socially, be it scientifically, we'll go there and then make it run. So that's what I can probably talk about it.
Yeah, Anil sir, you were also continuing upon the same point.
Yeah. So no matter, you just put me anywhere in the world, you put in any adversary, we will figure it out. Most of the Nowodians will have
Things will
this.
figure it out. And
So
you'll see, we don't have a habit of saying, "Yeah, अच्छा नहीं है, वो बुरा नहीं है." You give us whatever condition it is. We'll start through that. Okay, so there is no layers. We've seen adversities, and we every now then I think believes one thing is uh, the kind of adversities we could have been versus we could get whatever we could get through Node has given us value of adversities. So if you put us into a city where there's a non-veg, we'll figure out veg if need to be figured out. You give us a situation, and I think Northerns would be able to get through that.
And in the same case, Anil sir, could you remember some guru who gave you a learning, life learning?
you're talking about the individuals.
Yeah, can be individuals or any subject based or anyone, even a sports teacher or anyone.
Yeah, see, basically now I'm into schools also, and I work with children. So guru most of the times need not be only the teacher who is teaching the subject. For example, in my case, of course there are wonderful teachers. uh, for example, my PET, I used to play caroms with him because I was good at it, and he encouraged me so much. I mean, that once we are good at one thing, that confidence will be helping in other facets also. My teachers, my physics teacher Ramulu sir, he used to take me to library, computer physics lab, and ask me to check whether these are functioning or not functioning, resistors, capacitors. Uh, so it is a work given to me, but it instilled a curiosity in physics to me. See, so, and GVS Babu sir, biology teacher, the way he teaches, the way he carries himself, amazing. So, a ideal teacher, how it should be, symbol of discipline and subject, and hard outside, soft inside. So, lot of things, and my friends, my seniors, even today. I mean, I'll just tell you, like 15 years or so, I was in corporate, and all through my life I was just looking at my studies and my career as a IT employee, how to excel and all those things. And now I am running rural schools. That would not have been possible if I was not studied in Navodaya. I mean, for example, wherever I see a challenge, I'm mentally prepared to do it. And my friends, my seniors, wherever, and, they helped wherever there is a problem also. So I cannot take individual as in so many things. I mean, we learn from our own friends. For example, in sixth standard, I don't know how to carry my, the plate used to be little big. It was difficult to carry that. From there to keeping our, uh, belongings properly, our books, and a lot of things. So many gurus, I would say. There is full of gurus.
This makes me like give a punchline from Navjot Singh Sidhu. Oh Guru, tusi to chha gaye. Okay, for your gurus. And now over to the third round. And here we come to the final round of our discussion on a legacy of empowerment. And the first question goes to Anil sir. Please share how JNV prepared you for your chosen career path.
Yeah. So I can just split this one into two things. For example, me, for 15 years I was into a corporate, like the skills, as Yogi Bhai had told, we were prepared. We don't know that we can crack IIT or MSET or any entrance, but we were prepared. And once we joined, I mean, we were lack of confidence in a way because we don't know the outside world. Because 6 to 12 we are in a residential rural context, and after that we have to go to cities. And but internally we are very strong. I mean, whatever comes to us, we will face it and overcome it, right? So for me, from the English communication to living in a Hyderabad, and then cracking gate, all India gate 37th rank, and going to IISc. Most of the, I mean, the skills which I have, soft skills and as well as the hard work and even knowledge, those help me to excel in my career in corporate. Then now for Ripples, the schools, chain of rural schools, Navodaya is the inspiration. The holistic education at affordable cost. See, for Navodaya, there is one Navodaya for a district. So it takes more 70% rural people and 30% urban. So around 50 to 60 people on the average will get this opportunity. On a merit basis, there is an entrance exam. But there are so many other rural students who would not be getting this opportunity. And the Ripples with a similar vision, holistic education at affordable cost in rural areas. So I draw a lot of inspiration from my life at Navodaya and Navodaya as an institution. So what else? I mean, that is what I'm most of the times. Most of my time currently is going into Ripple schools. Yeah.
And Yogi sir, could you relate to this question?
No, of course. I think one thing was, of course, deprived in nowadays in terms of a career guidance, a holistic, psychometric testing indicator versus your own interest, career guidance, plus penetrate through a industry. We did not have too much on those times where we can really go through that. If I wanted to go, because in other cities you have a lot of awareness about it. If you want to be a dancer and you want to take a dance as a career, you get a bigger opportunities in a city versus in nowadays. So of course we deprive those kind of opportunities in some term, but of course skills was there. One thing which helped, if you ask me from Navodaya and the other parts of my life who helped me build up my careers was, uh, at Navodaya, I always felt that idea of thinking different. Okay, I am very close to Kota. My Navodaya is one of the closest to Kota, and most of my teammates, my senior, used to go to for IITs, engineering, and all those times. Engineering will also be through entrance exams. In terms of because there are very few government colleges and NITs were there, so you have to take that path or medicals. But I don't know. I felt somewhere different that I wanted to do, computer application, because computer engineering was not a subject. So when I came to Indore as a city, I think I would say Indore city being or the people of Indore also become some way sparking me the idea of how do you see world. Because when you come from very small rural village to a city like Indore, it's a lot of things to you. It takes a very different understanding of how do you see life. Okay, and can you make impact to because it's like, I don't know, you had seen that movie called Rang De Basanti, that Amir Khan says, I wanted to be always in this university campus. I have some value in this campus. But similarly for me, that now there was had that value for me, and I never wanted to go out of that. If I could have a wish to be there always. But when you come out and when you see a world, it's a very different thinking, ideologies, philosophies. So how do you make? So people of Indore as a city had made me thought a lot. From there, getting to EDI, understanding business as a community, or being in Ahmedabad and understanding entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial thinking. What you feed them at early ages, and how do you give them the idea of risk taking, understanding values and value creations. That has given me another opportunities at EDI. I would say Minu Bhai, I take him as a guru also. He had given a lot of platform creations. When UWC was formed, it was formed with the idea that anyone who wants to have entrepreneurial career, come join us, start with pocket money, get anything, contribute whatever you can, and you become partners, shareholders, directors in the businesses. And all that had started giving me a career. So all these people around me become my friends, gurus, giving you advices at right times, fighting with you to not to do which is not right for you. Okay, so there are few people in life who becomes your paperweights. If you're flying high, they pull you out and give you direction. Okay, there are few people who gives you a sway away that now you can grow. You should take it speed up. So all this has been, everyone has this, I believe, but only advantage at northern people like who's been out of nothing. We have, I don't know, I this specifically have a problem that we've been so alone from families. It's very hard for me to go to someone's houses. Okay, because you don't know how to really behave. For us, it's either completely in or completely out. Okay, so that becomes out, but because either we go fully heart in. Okay, we put our heart soul everywhere if we go there, if we believe and we connect to them, because this is how we had led. If not, we'll be on the edge probably. So there's a thing, another interesting thing which I would put to every listener here. If you really want to get into the game, now they had a very strong way of looking at it. So when we used to play volleyballs or any game, the house used to play volleyball inside it. People who is getting experts, your seniors, and there are few people who has curiosity to play that game. They were put onto the boundary of volleyball court. Okay, so our job is only curiosity was to get the ball which got out, okay, and give it to them. Okay, we start doing this. Okay, from there we start putting one shot on another just to see it's getting right direction or not. From there to get one step in the court, then getting in the position, then getting expertise. So it's like life. If you want to really be there, you had to come closer to the court, maybe just see what is getting out, and from there getting into the veterans or expertise. So life is more like that to me, that you just go to the edge and you'll figure it out. Once you get the one step inside, you can do the way you want it.
Reminds me a little about Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Just go and live it. Then only you'll
Yes.
explore. And yeah, that was quite an interesting take on
No,
the
if you
JNV.
and I appeal. I don't know how many listeners do we have today, but I appeal everyone. If you see a Northern asking for a job role with you, or take them in.
Yeah.
That's, I think every Northern can vouch for each other, that they would be hardworking, committed. Okay, and if they would say that they would do it, they definitely get it through. So
Great.
that's a breed, I can tell you.
Mhm. So like every Navodin is already filled with that thought since his childhood that बच्चा excellence के पीछे भागो success तो जग मार के आएंगे.
Mostly like this, because the commitment. I think that's what we are designed around.
Mhm. Perfect, perfect. So the next second question goes to Anil sir. So
Mhm.
please share how JNV is prepared, prepared you for your career path that is over. And now the second question that actually comes to both of you is discuss the lasting impact of JNV on its entire alumni network. Anil sir.
Hmm. Uh, yeah. Entire alumni network. Can you, Akash, Akshay, can you please
Yeah,
repeat?
I'll repeat it again. Sir, can you please discuss the lasting impact of JNV on its alumni network?
Okay. See, for example, now if you look at now the alumni network, the size and the spread, it's humongous. Around 600 plus schools, and at least 25 years already. 25 batches passed out of the school system, and in each batch around 80 people. So it's a huge, huge, huge network. So and now they spread across the globe, and various, as Yogiji said, various professions, whether it is teaching to IT, entrepreneurship, politics, police, everywhere. In 2018, I was part of Navodayans in Bangalore. I was living in Bangalore. Around 700 Navodayans from all over India were actually, working in Bangalore. 700 plus people joined that event, and many more who did not join because of other things. So that's the size we are talking about when we talk about Navodaya alumni. So, and most of these, I mean, now Yogi ji was telling us about bunking classes, going to theater and getting caught and punishment. this will be there in most of the people's life. And the bringing no difference between caste, creed, religion, oh, पता भी नहीं चलता है वहां पर. So this is the thought process we get there. Now when you talk about impact, so for example, Navodayans for Navodaya, Navodayan, Navodaya for Navodayans. Now even alumni, wherever you go, you will find somebody of similar DNA. And most of the times, if you ask, "Are you from Navodaya?" Most of the times, the answer would be yes. I'm from so and so Navodaya. So Yogiji, I'm just meeting for the first time virtually, and I can relate to most of his experiences in Navodaya. Right? So that's the thing. Now, impact, the help we get for each other, and we for community and country or society, we have a similar thought process. Most of the Nowodayans, as I said earlier, also, whatever they do, they think about the people around at least, and they want to excel. The team, the teamwork, the skill which the team, because that's how we were brought up in the formative years, 6th standard to 12th standard. We always worked as a team, right? Whether it is a problem or by design, we learn those skills. Yogi was talking about houses, Aravali, Shivalik. There are 4 houses, and there will be a fierce competition. And my house should win. Whether I'm participating, I'm a junior, and I vouch and I encourage my seniors, or I'm, it's that belongingness. Those things we learn in over there, and the impact, I think, yes. And many people are into various entrepreneurship, and there's an impact on society, I would say. One such is our ripples. We are doing exceptionally good. Yeah, I don't know, did I answer, or you want me to elaborate more, Akshay?
Yeah, I'll engage you in the discussion so you get more of those past reminiscence, feelings, and nostalgia again back. So, yeah, we had a question in this regard itself by Mr. Durgesh Patidar, that how important is the JNV alumni network in your professional life, and how can the current students and recent graduates benefit from this network? Yogi sir, if you would like to add.
So I think alumni network helps you out. So let's say if I'm coming to a city, and so most of the Northerns are not belonging to big cities. Okay, so if someone who just passed out, try reach your alumni network, you will have one or the other guy supporting you, at least acclimatizing the city. Okay, that's first thing. If you're looking for a career guidance or choices, they can connect you to the right people in the network, because the alumni network is so big that if you want to get through a contact, a relationship, or a understanding of subject matter, you can connect to alumni networks. Okay, if you talk about what kind of choices I should make, okay, there are guides available from Navodaya alumni groups who can help you understand industry as a whole, because I think I passed on 2001. Okay, I had 7 years seniors. Okay, so think about people who's already been in industries for 20 years, 30 years down the line. Okay, most of my seniors has their kids going to Navodaya again. Okay, so think
Lucky.
it like this. So that's the kind of big network of alumni is there. So, be it any spoke, there's help available. Okay, there's a society called Urja, which is Urja is how do you form? It's a alumni network for JNV Alumni Association. Okay, so that's typically has most of the alumni connected over Facebook. Okay, every school has their own alumni networks also. So there's a transition. All of that can be helped. So even if you're getting to university or colleges, you'll figure out one or the other now than being there. Okay. So I feel that way network and accessibility is there.
Akshay, can I add a little bit there?
Yes, please, please, sir.
So for example, as Yogi said, every school, there's a one school per district. So for example, my school, it's in Nizamabad district. So at school level itself, we have a profound alumni which is supporting current students from the career, those things, the career, and what they're missing being in a residential setup. There are a few things they're missing, right? Those gaps our alumni is trying to fill them,
Cover up.
and
Yes. Yes.
and scholarships at the school level itself, something which after finishing their plus two, career guidance, choices, some financial help, many things at the school level itself. And then at Urja, ISA, there are like organizations which are formed. They have chapters for regions, uh, places. On for Hyderabad there is one, Bangalore there is another. So, but one thing is very common when we see a Navodayan with a senior, junior who needs help. वो तो immediately there will be bonding and we help. So in my school itself, I would.
Actually, we can. I can tell you one thing. You go to any village, okay, and tell that you're Northern, you will get one or the other connection. I believe that. That's the level of
Yeah.
reach Northern has.
Wow, nice. Yeah, just before the session got started, like Anil sir was giving us the numbers. Like how many, sir, you were telling? 600 into 400 into some years. Like astronomical figures were coming up.
Yes, yes.
Correct. Yes, 600 schools, and each batch the intake is 80, and it started in 1987 or 88. So around 25 plus batches for a school they already passed out. So humongous numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, the reach will also be humongous. And then many of the visions will come up on how you all can contribute to the vision of JNV. Perfect, perfect. So with this, we close the round of questions curated by us. It's time to take up questions from the audience. On first, we have a question coming up from Ms. Tanishka Joshi, which seems to have been answered by Anil sir, but I'll also ask Yogi sir if he can contribute to this. So what do you envision for the future of JNVs and how can alumni contribute to this vision?
Sorry. What do you? Can you come again,
What do you
actually?
what do you envision for the future of JNVs and how can alumni contribute to this vision?
Okay. So I think one feature of JNVs, I like Anil is already in part of this. I think we may need our own universities also. Okay, uh, where kids coming out of nowadays, we can bring them there. Okay, so you got another excellent team coming to the another excellent place. Okay, so that can be an extension of feature of JNVs. Uh, um, More strong, visible networks of alumni who can connect to that. And I think if we see that kind of platforms, creating industries around it, okay, creating more jobs, more growth for people. So we can bring out, as an alumni, I think we can build out those kind of paths for, nation, where we can let those things builded like universities, maybe working platforms, all that can be, networking platforms can be created by the alumni.
Nice vision, like the extension of JNV schools into JNV universities and industry academia collaboration. Very
Yeah.
nice point put by you,
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
An example. I mean, so earlier when we were kids at school, we didn't have the guidance from the alumni, for example, because only seven batches came out of the school nowadays system, right? But now we are so many, and the connectivity is also very strong now because of the internet and all. So every school, their alumni is doing a lot of things for the current school. So, for example,
Yes.
career guidance, and this is one thing which was missing. Even today, it's done by the alumni. Most of the times, one of the alumni will go to the either through the association or just because of their sheer interest, they go there and they, help the current students there, especially 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, how to make the career choices and uh, things of that sort. And one more thing, what Yogi mentioned is excellent students going to another excellent institute. A fantastic thing. I just thought about there is a foundation called Dakshina Foundation, which is giving the IIT coaching in the Navodaya itself. They're selecting.
Yes.
The results are amazing. Around all over Navodaya, somebody who is good, they are asked to come to a center in Navodaya itself where they are
Yes.
trained for a year or so. Around 90 to 95% of the people are getting selected to IITs. So university will definitely give a very good result, I would say, to the society. Yeah.
Wow, what a point it was. Like this foundation is giving IIT coaching to students inside JNV itself, and the numbers of people getting selected is like above 90%. That is quite phenomenal. And
And year on,
this
I mean,
leads me
not
to
just
the
one. Yeah, it's not just
not
one.
just
I
one,
mean,
See,
like
actually,
every.
the factor here is people who are interested, and when you get an environment, where you see the environment and then you make, right resources in this. If you plug it out, people excel. This is how at CIVOM we talk about a lot that how environment can help you learn better. Okay. That is what it is. When you design for learning, you need to look at people, programs, and places. All three has to come together to get your lifelong learning systems. So I would say cracking IIT would be easier. I always say it's not occupation, it's elevation. If someone can get elevated, they're lifelong learners, they're lifelong contributors. So I always encourage people that if you go for IIT and you don't have an interest, okay, but if you whatever interest you can follow, do that. So at least you don't have a midlife crisis coming to you or an identity crisis coming to you. Okay, um, being CA because everyone is being CA may not be there. So I think what Navodaya has actually contributed to all this together. It is just the world who's we were talking about uh, to Dr. Lakshmi Kumar over Sweden education in 11th, 12th, and she was mentioning why do we really need these competitive exams and getting them into IIT and then learning engineering? Why don't we start teaching engineering in 11th and 12th? Think of engineers who could not, electrical engineer who could not change wires, who couldn't distinguish between wires or fuses. What is the whole point of getting that kind of engineering? It's better giving them skills at early ages so that they become employable, have a core interest, and then elevate a deeper context there. So those kind of exposure in the environment, along with the thinking which we need, will have right people coming out of that.
Extraordinarily answered. So this leads me to the next question by Ms. Radhika Jaketia. Like, what aspects of this JNV environment do you believe are unique and most beneficial for student development in this age? Anil, sir?
No, I think Anil sir can answer that.
see, I mean, my take, I mean, those 7 years are so undisturbed from the. So, for example, nowadays, schools, even in first standard only, the kid was given, okay, there's IIT foundation, you know, to be ready and all those things. Those taglines, that confusion is not there for the Navodaya students. And for example, myself,
Hmm.
I didn't know about IIT entrance exam till 12th. Even 12th also, like, oh, the IIT, there's an entrance exam. So that gave me a little bit of problem that I don't know a lot of things outside how I'm going to cope up. That problem was there. But for those 7 years, I was not, the time for myself to grow and learn skills, what is my interest, and the various opportunities or the problems are as opportunities that help me grow. So now the same person was studying somewhere else outside. There's already something feed at you. Okay, you have to get into IIT, you have to do this one, you have to do, from now onwards you have to be good in mathematics. You know even in like +1 +2, some of my teachers were telling, no, outside they are studying 16 hours a day to crack the entrance exam. You are not studying at all, so you're not going to be, they used to tell all. And sometimes seriously, am I underprepared and all these questions will come. but most of the times we are we know how to the confidence and the hardworking nature we build there. So that I think is the most unique thing. And the life as a life, I mean, so many things, so many memories we will have with friends, seniors, juniors. I don't think other schools outside, there are some nature residential schools have this advantage. uh, but in residential also, in our nowadays in context, like we have to do a lot of things ourselves. We have to clean our own rooms, classrooms. There is committees and cultural activities. I think not many schools, many children are get this opportunity. So that, in my opinion, is the unique thing about nowadays.
Yeah, if I can add, we are self-directed learners. We used to take our own decisions from a very early age. That's one thing which Navodaya has given us uniquely. We had been given multi-dimensional interdiscipline approaches. Okay, so if you see at in a multiple dimension, from be it sports, athletics, project-based learnings, be it cultural understanding, musics, dances, sports, academicias, science experiments, everything. So we had a big plethora of things to see in a very strong directed manner. So very multidimensional and interdiscipline approaches has been taken. You know, um, Frugalism was been there. Okay, because we did not had resources too much. We had to create things from scripts. Okay, doing projects from the vestages also. So all of this been had been the kind of versions what we could learn from. Okay, and then along with that, the another unique aspect has been guided by right teachers. So think you have all this self-directed, but then you have mentors because you're staying there. They see you day in day out. Okay, from waking up early in the morning to sleeping in the night, and post that also. So it's a like gurukuls where you have been raised by gurus. Okay, where your special talent has been figured out, nourished around, cherished around. Okay, directed around. Along with this, nowadays, I don't know you know it or not, but nowadays is very interesting part that they have third language concept. Okay, we have a cross community. Okay, so my nowadays used to have I learned Malayalam as a language. Okay, so that was my third language. Think about how when they were been designing, and 30%, 40% population of ninth grade used to go to there, and their 40% population used to come to us, and they had Hindi as a third language.
Yeah.
Okay, so now look at the kind of cross-cultural relationship you're developing. Okay, I can still read Malayalam, I can write Malayalam. Maybe I cannot speak very well, but those are the things which has been given to us at early age. So when you see this kind of things, we used to have this as a very strong cross-cultural reference, that there is a one more breed who don't speak language like ours. Until the point, if you are not exposed to this, how would you see it? How many of us would have interest in, like, say, if I would be in Rajasthan and understanding Telugu and Telugu cinema, or Telugu is a culture. So India as a country is very strongly diverse in terms of culture. So there was some factors which has already been instilled you at early ages. So some school from Bengal may be connected to MP, or some school from Andhra might be connected to Haryana. There's a lot of cross cultures like this. So this is few aspects which I feel very, very unique, in terms of nowadays. And another interesting part, the kind of school campuses. I think most of the nowadays are spread in 2-kilometer radius.
Yeah. 30 acres, 40 acres,
Acres.
greenery.
Our one round in early morning used to be 1 kilometer.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How far would you run? Right.
Yes, and so this is what been given to us. Most of this is without any supports. So you don't get buses. There are buses to go out of the school, but in the campus you are every day physically active. Okay, so if you see it from that term, I feel nowadays get good health also, because we've been physically fitted for a longer period. Okay, you get sports every day. You get physical training every day. Uh, all this has been part of your everyday life.
Like this means like your campus life was quite amazing and quite enriching for your
Agree,
career.
agree. Yes, and this is very uniquely thought. I feel may not be very luxurious, but yes, vast enough to get you understanding this, and it has its own challenges, of course. But yeah,
Perfectly answered. So this makes me move to the final question of from the audience round. We have a question coming up from Ms. Bhavna Bhatia. Reflecting on your time at JNV after ninth or 10th grade, how do you believe the school's environment and experiences contribute to shaping individuals into successful entrepreneurs and leaders today?
I think Bhavana, we might have answered it in most of
Hmm.
the other ways
Earlier.
also, but yeah. So see, the key being from at ninth and 10th grade is you start understanding the expertise it needed. By that you have generic studies. So when you now there's another interesting part that our science till 8th was in Hindi. Our social science was in till the 8th was in Hindi. Okay, from ninth we used to get it in English as a language. Uh, so when you get those, you have a different kind of challenges to look at. A lot of people don't wanted to go to sciences because they were in English. The textbooks were in English. Okay, few prefer humanities as a subject, or commerce as a subject, not going to, because English being a different challenge there. Because and there were schools, I don't know you know it or not, but earlier there were schools in rural areas where you don't have English as a language till 6th or 5th, and then you're getting nowadays. So a lot of my colleagues has introduced to English at 6th class. Okay, and they had cracked IITs. Okay, uh, and all whatever if you talk about it, and this that's gone through, but so that is where your really uplifting comes out. At 9 10th you start understanding subject as a as a understanding what chemistry is meant. How do you think about chemistry, physics, biology, sciences, social sciences, humanities? All that has been made you thought around. Along with this, because it's so I said you interdiscipline, that someone who's excelling in academics versus someone who's excelling in sports. Okay, and how does their mindset views around? Okay, so and I tell you one very interesting story at nowadays. One very healthy sports preferred boy, because he got a good build. Okay, and he used to be feel powerful. In schools, you when you are healthier, or can do that sports active. So one day teacher came, and he was he was our English teacher. He said, you know this guy who's sitting in the front desk may be about 4.5 feet, but he's a different wisdom. Okay, and later in life you may be his security guard. Okay, and he can be leading it out. So he was teaching us the value of how power of brains versus so when you see leadership, it is not needed that you have physically built. Okay, but the human grounds, the humility, the kind of wisdom you need. Okay, so if that's there, so I don't know. Now this logo has one line says Pragyanam Brahma. Okay, so wisdom is is the master. Okay, so how that emotional connect to your wisdom and intellect, and how do you take it for society in a term, is what makes you decisive. So typically 9 10s are those periods where we can choose about depth of subjects as humans, and then probably taking them further, and which is gives us this idea of entrepreneurship. And I would say nowadays are not fit for entrepreneurship. If you see, they're communist in approach. For us everything is equal. If you see entrepreneurship, there is a different value: demand, supply chains, high low prices, volatility. There is everything was equal. So if you see now, the ecosystem is typically a communist ecosystem. Everything is equal for everyone. Okay,
Yeah.
but it gives you an idea of how you can create value for humans, and then you can nourish and nurture it for them outside there. So yeah.
Yeah, and about the leadership and entrepreneurship, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. See, especially in 11th, for example, you need to take care of the whole school. For example, around 500
Yes,
students,
yes.
about the food committees, cultural committee, or even now you are very good in sports. You have to make your house win in inter-house competitions, and there are so many.
All the strategies were dependent to 11th graders.
Yeah, and in 12th we will generally focus on board. 11th is where we will have a lot of time, and not just, it's an opportunity and responsibility also. Some, there is a mess committee to make sure that all the food coming in, all the raw material is of the good quality, and it's being prepared well, and these kind of things. These are opportunities not many schools will give. And coming to this, most of us, I mean, as a child, there will be an immaturity, right? We think powerful, we don't respect people or the things, and then we grow out of immaturity also. So that happens, and that's what schools generally do, and more so in residential schools like Navodaya, as gurus are there. It's a Gurukula system. So amazing things we learn there. Some as part of curriculum, some as an opportunity, some as an adversity. So from the adversity we grow, and we get these skills.
Thank you, Anuj sir, for especially sharing that point of how you all were part of committees and that instilled the sense of entrepreneurship in you since like your 11th standard and since your school days. And it's time for me to summarize the key points of this session. We started from how hard work and self confidence are the guiding principles of JNV alumni to how they contribute to society in everything they do. And then Yogi sir talked about how adaptive intelligence has been instilled into all the JNV alumni. And then Anil sir also told about Urja, that is a alumni network of JNV alumni, and how Disha Foundation is preparing students for IIT coaching inside JNV itself, and how you have this vision of having an extension of JNV schools into universities, industry academia collaboration, and how you can give guidance sessions to the current students. And the final point was like how cross-cultural relationships developed through a third language concept, and how all the Navodayans are self-directed learners since they start at Navodaya schools. And now, I to everyone watching this session, we would love to have you all interacting with CIVOM for its upcoming events and all the exciting stuff made by its team. Connect with us or drop your comments on official handles of CIVOM on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And now it's time to have the closing remarks. Here I propose the vote of thanks to our panelists, Mr. Anil Kumar Patil and Mr. Yogendra Patidar. We feel extremely honored to host you for this session, and our entire team at CIVOM thanks you for the wisdom and the insights shared by you. Please accept our gratitude for joining us live. And a big thanks to everyone who joined us from various parts of the world. Happy Guru Purnima and thank you.
Happy group. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.